Fresh legal battle is unfolding in Nevada, with NFL icon Shannon Sharpe now at the center of controversy. A newly filed lawsuit accuses him of manipulative behavior, brought forth by a woman identified as Jane Doe. According to the suit, the alleged misconduct is not from the distant past. It reportedly took place as recently as this January. We got hold of the court documents, and here's the full breakdown. It looks like Shannon Sharpe just cannot seem to escape the spotlight for the wrong reasons. He has now been hit with another sexual assault lawsuit, this time from a different woman. For someone who has publicly denied his first accuser's claims, these repeated allegations are starting to stack up like infinity stones. It is giving serious Thanos energy. This latest accuser says she was in a long-term relationship with Sharpe, spanning a full decade. But the claims go beyond just assault. She is also accusing him of using threats and blackmail to keep her quiet, allegedly warning her that he would destroy her personal and professional life if she ever spoke out. But hold on, because things are spiraling even further. Word on the street is that more women are preparing to file lawsuits against Shannon Sharpe. And if that is true, this could mark a serious turning point in his public image and career. It is beginning to feel like Shannon is in freefall. The question on everyone's mind: is this the fallout of his own actions, or could it be part of a calculated effort to bring down a high-profile black man? Some are already calling it a twisted spin-off of Club Shay Shay, one where serious allegations take center stage. Let's unpack it all. Shannon has been battling for his reputation ever since his former partner filed a sexual assault lawsuit. And just when it seemed like he was trying to get ahead of the situation, another lawsuit surfaced, this time from a different ex, also accusing him of assault. The timing and intensity of these back-to-back allegations have ignited serious debate and concern. Back in 2023, a woman named Michelle Evan, described in reports as a white woman, filed a separate lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe in New York. Now, to clear up any confusion, this is not the same Michelle some people might be thinking of. According to her claims, she and Sharpe were involved in a long-term relationship that lasted nearly 10 years and ended around 2010. The relationship reportedly came to a close after a heated argument sparked by suspicions of Sharpe's alleged infidelity. In the lawsuit, Evans alleges that things took a dark and violent turn after she refused a sexual request from Sharpe. She claims he then forced her into a non-consensual act, physically overpowering her and compelling her into oral sex despite her clear protests. She says fear and confusion overwhelmed her, leaving her terrified that resisting might lead to even worse consequences. The complaint continues with claims that Sharpe, now 56, allegedly forced her onto the bed and committed non-consensual vaginal penetration. According to Evans, during the assault, he chillingly told her he wanted to make it so no other man would want her. Afterward, she says he threatened her into silence, warning that if she ever spoke out, he would unleash a full-blown campaign to ruin her life. She stated in the filing, "He issued threats of destruction, saying if I ever told anyone, he would mobilize everyone I knew to tear me down." Evans did go on to obtain a restraining order against him, but within weeks, she dropped it, allegedly out of fear for her safety. She recounted a terrifying moment after filing for the restraining order, saying, "I was sitting in my apartment with my daughter. It was a basement-level unit with a door that opened right onto the sidewalk, so we were completely exposed. Then someone came right up to my door and shouted, 'Shut up, effing B!' She said the fear was immediate and overwhelming. I had my child with me. That was it for me. I dropped the restraining order right then. I could not risk her safety." Though the lawsuit was initially filed back in 2023, it recently resurfaced and went viral after new allegations against Sharpe came to light. Public backlash exploded, and Sharpe found himself under intense scrutiny. In response, his legal team issued a public statement, downplaying the allegations and casting doubt on the motives of the accusers. The statement read, "It should come as no surprise that when someone well-known is in the spotlight, all kinds of individuals emerge to claim connections to that person and attempt to benefit from those alleged ties." The statement from Sharpe's legal team went on to challenge the legitimacy of the allegations, arguing that many such claims are either outdated, wildly exaggerated, or outright distortions of reality. According to them, These stories are strategically pushed onto social media or given to the press, stripped of context and accuracy, all to shape a false narrative. They labeled the trend as deliberate and manipulative. They specifically pointed to the renewed attention on Michelle Evans's case as a prime example of this supposed tactic. The statement read, "When she failed to find an attorney willing to back her unbelievable claims, she filed the lawsuit herself, a civil complaint that holds no real legal weight." Sharpe's team concluded by stating that he has had no contact with Evans for years, emphasizing that her case lacks both credibility and relevance. In the statement, Sharpe's team firmly asserted that he has done nothing wrong and is fully prepared to defend himself against what they call malicious lies. They promised that his defense would be grounded in real, documented evidence, not fabricated excuses or fabricated stories. They made it clear that Shannon intends to fight these allegations with the full strength of the law, and they argued that the accusations are baseless. However, things are heating up as his latest accuser, Gabriela Zuniga, has provided screenshots to support her claims, which only add more fuel to the fire. One of the texts she shared reportedly reads, "I cried when you left because I begged you to put protection on and not put it in my behind, and you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. No means no, Shannon." This new evidence paints a troubling picture, and it appears the battle for Sharpe's reputation is far from over. This situation is definitely complex and emotionally charged. Gabriela's text to Shannon, where she says, "I don't know how to process this," seemed to echo the troubling claims she made in her lawsuit. In her legal filing, she accused Shannon of manipulating and controlling her, alleging violent acts of sexual assault in both October 2024 and January 2025. According to her, despite her desperate pleas for him to stop, he ignored her cries and continued with the assault. The lawsuit paints a picture of threats and physical intimidation, with Shannon allegedly refusing to accept a no, even as she sobbed and screamed in distress. In response, Shannon's legal team fired back with a statement of their own, presenting what they say are private, explicit text messages between him and Gabriela. In these texts, Gabriela allegedly expressed extreme sexual fantasies, including one where she requested Shannon to put a dog collar around her neck and choke her during intercourse. This exchange raises even more questions about the nature of their relationship and the allegations on both sides, adding more layers of complexity to an already intense situation. The text shared by Gabriela in the exchange raises some serious concerns about the nature of her relationship with Shannon, especially considering the explicit and graphic language involved. It certainly adds to the complexity of the case, making it harder to decipher the truth amidst the conflicting accounts. In response, Shannon's legal team firmly rejected the allegations, accusing Gabriela and her attorney, Tony Busby, of trying to exploit the situation for financial gain. According to Shannon's statement, the lawsuit is nothing more than a calculated attempt to extort millions of dollars from him. They claim that Gabriela presented a secretly recorded video of an intimate moment, but Shannon's team insists that the video was heavily edited and taken out of context, arguing that it was meant to make a consensual encounter appear as something else entirely. They further emphasize that the relationship between Shannon and Gabriela involved consensual adult activities, including role-playing and fantasy scenarios. With Gabriela herself actively, Shannon's defense continues to assert that Gabriela's secret tape was manipulated to falsely present their encounter as non-consensual. They claim the edited video, when combined with prior text messages, attempts to create a misleading narrative that the intimate acts were coerced. Shannon's legal team categorically denies any allegations of sexual assault or misconduct, labeling the entire situation as an extortion attempt. According to them, the accusations are a clear case of blackmail, and Shannon is determined to fight back against what they see as a gross misrepresentation. Shannon, as stated by his lawyer, is committed to standing by the truth and is ready to vigorously contest the charges in court. He believes that the facts will speak for themselves, and he is confident that due process will lead to his exoneration. Shannon's lawyer also suggested that Gabriela's motivations were financially driven. They pointed to her knowledge that Shannon was about to secure a lucrative contract, implying she took advantage of this opportunity to try to gain leverage. The defense labeled this as a textbook example of blackmail, with Gabriella allegedly seeking to capitalize on Shannon's success. Additionally, they highlighted her involvement with OnlyFans, claiming that her content on the platform was a form of paid role-playing and virtual fantasy for her subscribers, reinforcing the idea that financial gain was a key motivator for her actions. In response to Shannon's legal team's portrayal of Gabriella as a gold digger, Tony Busby, her lawyer, fired back with a major accusation. He revealed that Shannon's team had secretly offered Gabriella a $10 million payout to keep quiet about the allegations, which Busby suggested undermines their claims of innocence. Busby detailed how, back in early February, his office reached out to Shannon's team on behalf of Jane Doe, Gabriella, to discuss a potential settlement. He explained that multiple conversations took place, leading to a mediation process that stretched over 6 weeks. Ultimately, Shannon allegedly made a significant settlement offer, which Gabriella rejected. Busby argued that this $10 million offer was made in an effort to prevent the lawsuit from going forward, which contradicted Shannon's public stance that the case was without merit. He pointed out the irony in Shannon's legal team simultaneously denying the legitimacy of the lawsuit while also offering such a large sum to resolve the issue. According to Busby, this admission of a $10 million offer from Shannon casts doubt on their claims and paints a different picture of the situation. Tony Busby stood firm, confirming that Gabriella was indeed offered $10 million to settle the case, but chose to reject it in favor of continuing with the legal battle. He emphasized that this decision to pursue litigation was not motivated by financial gain, despite the large sum offered. Busby also expressed frustration with Shannon and his team's attempts to discredit and attack Gabriella, as well as to tarnish his own reputation. He made it clear that such tactics, including attempts to expose private information Gabriella, would not deter them from pursuing the case. Busby's resolve was evident as he promised that they would not back down in the face of these challenges, signaling that the legal fight was far from over. The situation has taken an interesting turn as fans are starting to question the silence of Michelle, who previously filed a lawsuit against Shannon. Speculation is growing that, like Gabriella, she might have been paid off to keep quiet. Fans are raising doubts about Michelle's decision to drop the restraining order, especially given her claims of being threatened. Logically, if she truly felt threatened, wouldn't that have been a reason to keep the protection in place? The inconsistency in her actions has sparked theories that she might have accepted a payout, though this remains unconfirmed. Tony Busby has also pushed back against the texts released by Shannon's legal team. He stated that the texts, which were presented as evidence of Gabriella's previous communications with Shannon, were actually from before the alleged incidents in her lawsuit. Busby argued that these texts were released with the intention of distracting the public from the serious allegations being made in the lawsuit. He was adamant that this tactic wouldn't work, highlighting the focus should remain on the facts of the case. Tony Busby has built a reputation for being relentless in his pursuit of justice, and he's not backing down now. Remember how he clashed with Jay-Z's lawyer just last year? It's clear he's not afraid to get his hands dirty when necessary. So when Shannon and his legal team started playing hardball by revealing Gabriella's identity after filing as Jane Doe, Busby was ready to hit back. In response, Busby released an audio recording where Shannon could allegedly be heard threatening Gabriella, which added fuel to the fire. The chilling content of the recording raised serious questions about the nature of their interactions and the validity of Gabriella's accusations. This latest move only escalates the drama, with each side pulling out every possible card in this high-stakes battle. As the legal war rages on, it's clear that things are getting more intense by the day. The release of the audio clips has stirred intense reactions. One disturbing part of the recording includes Shannon making unsettling comments about a big black guy choking a small white woman, which many found deeply troubling and inappropriate. Fans are already questioning his behavior, even if he's ultimately cleared of any wrongdoing, with some noting the odd and concerning nature of the conversation. Tony Busby, not holding back, responded by calling the content of the audio disturbing, aggressive, and dangerous. He pointed out that the recording paints a clear picture of Shannon's treatment of Jane Doe, claiming that it led her to escape by leaving Nevada and cutting off all communication. Busby stressed that Miss Doe isn't afraid of the truth, and he intends to present the full evidence in court, where facts, not public relations spin, will be the deciding factor. This latest turn in the case only intensifies the spotlight on Shannon, as fans and legal teams alike continue to analyze every detail in the battle for justice. Shannon's response to the growing legal troubles has been to downplay the situation, attempting to carry on with business as usual. He's still active on his podcast, Club Shay Shay, and continues to work with U5's podcast, but the legal storm he's facing has seriously shaken things up behind the scenes. Reports indicate that a potentially lucrative $100 million podcast deal he was close to signing is now on hold. It seems no one wants to be associated with the chaos surrounding him, and several sources say he's been distanced from these deals to avoid further controversy. In addition to that, Shannon has temporarily stepped down from his duties at ESPN. While he claims it's a voluntary decision, insiders suggest that the network likely pressured him to step aside to avoid the negative attention and possible suspension. In his official statement, he maintained that the situation was 100% consensual and emphasized his intention to focus on his family and legal defense. He added that he plans to return to ESPN at the start of the NFL preseason, but whether that happens remains uncertain given the ongoing legal battle. The future of his career seems clouded as the legal storm continues to build. The situation surrounding Shannon has definitely taken a wild turn, and it looks like it's far from over. With more women reportedly planning to come forward and potentially file lawsuits, this drama is only escalating. It's clear that Shannon's legal team is going to need to be on high alert in the coming weeks. It's also getting harder for the public to stay neutral, especially with so many conflicting reports and accusations flying around. As for whether Shannon is innocent, that's something that will need to be determined in court with all the evidence laid out. It's a messy situation, and it's hard to say for sure until the truth comes out through proper legal channels. The public narrative is definitely going to continue evolving as more details emerge. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. What do you think about it? Do you believe there's more to the story?